Are you free? Are you a slave? Who's the real master and how you know? These are the $1,000,000 questions. All we have to do is go back. You like the graphics? You like the graphics?
Yeah, I like that too. That's how.
Go back. We're going to set the base up. Bam, what Brother Anif touched on earlier. We're going to go back when this landmass was called El Morak or Mexan. Like when you get a Mexico, the Malians, etymology, keep this in mind. It sounds funny, but it's basically true. If you say something sounds like shirt or shit and boom, there's some lineage somewhere in there. You just got to figure it out. And it's always important to go back to the origin of the words. The first American was in Australia. That's what they said. 10,000 years old. 10,000 to 70,000 years old in America. Here's the documentary. The Aussies are everywhere. It was discovered. This is written. This is Time magazine, 1999, when he talked about Australia to South America 13,000 years ago. 13. Here's an article from 1909. Remember the Grand Canyon? You know the Grand Canyon? Where they found the mummies and the Egyptian or the Kemetic bodies in the Grand Canyon that are closed off to the public now. Who else is traveling 12,000 years ago? Garamintes. They were farmers, engineers, merchants. They also created an underground sewer system that's 40,000 years old. 40. Europeans wasn't around yet. There was a twinkle in our eye. You understand? And if you look at these brothers, see the brothers, these are definitely brothers with the froze, with the melanin, and with this particular boat. The solar boat is the same boat if you see Amun Ra, he's in. It's called a solar boat or a papyrus boat. And you know his brothers because they got shade. They, you know, we'll work, but shade. Or the kufu they put back together. This boat was built and put together seamlessly. No nails, none of that stuff. I think this is in the Smithsonian Institute. This is the close-up on them. They even got a little short in the back. Garamantes is real important people. This is what the modern ones look like. Here. There's no doubt who they are. Right?
And he had a fez on. My God.
That's right, and he had a fez on.
Yep.
So, where were they selling at? My point is to show you how long we've been around and what our influence is. I did something called the Moorish influence on the world. It's on YouTube, but it wasn't good because my wife was like, she stuck on me instead of the over here. So this is what they were selling. Crete. You familiar with Crete?
Yeah.
Familiar with Crete? Where's Crete? Here's Crete right there. Right there. So they were coming from here, Libya, to there, which eventually influenced this area. Long before they would even call themselves Romans, Greeks. Long before. Bam, we talked about this earlier. Brother Hanif. Here's Australia. There with a brother. Bam, straight shot to South America. Here we are again. In Africa, straight shot to Central America. Over here, North America. Of course, you get here, you ain't gonna just stay here. You're gonna go up here and see what's happening. While you're there, you influence others. You bring your technology, you bring your diet, you plant things, you grow things, you sleep with women, you have babies. They grow up, they get to travel, hey, they may come over to Easter Island. Is that Easter Island right there?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Before the Moroccan Empire. And here's how the Creek thing worked. And it's funny because I didn't realize that till last night that they were Moors. I mean, the term Moor and Moroccan, they tied in because they were nomads. The Mandes came down to Crete, went to the Greeks, went to Rome. They influenced the Romans up to 476. This is the date that the Roman Empire fell, which is deep because this is when Islam started coming around in 600 something. And then they started calling it the Dark Ages.
Okay.
And France came up and basically boom, we whooped their ass again. And now you're back down to Roman Catholicism, which is running the world now. Alright, Vatican. I told the brother here about the Washington D.C. tag It has 2 bars and 3 stars.
Yeah.
Vatican, London City. Vatican, London City, and Washington, D.C. All sovereign, not even cities nor states. They're countries within countries.
Right.
The most powerful. You got the religious, the army, and you got the bank. Everything for a nation.
It's Vatican City.
That's right. Did I say that?
You said the Vatican.
Yeah, Vatican City.
Yeah.
That's right. And if you watch that, it's a documentary called The 4 Rings of Power, or The Rings of Power. She covered pretty good. I don't really like that whole dance thing when she gets to the religious aspect of it.
That's where I first seen it at.
Yeah.
About the 3 interlocking sovereign bodies that they got going on.
Yeah, it was Vatican
China
City.
Liberty.
Yeah, it was Vatican City, London, and
London City.
London City and Washington, District of Columbia.
Okay.
You get China Liberty, you get anything on China Liberty, he talked about it too. He talked about how it's not called District of Columbia no more, it's called something else. And that ain't right now, book. But this is us. This is our influence. This is our influence. Thousands and thousands of years. We've always been here. So you ask the question, are you free? I want to show you some things and see if you figure out if you think you're free. You free? You a slave? Okay.
I know I am. I ain't even free.
I know, I'm a slave to
They said they ended slavery or created the 14th Amendment in 1868, which was never really ratified in the law, never really ratified. Voluntary, they deal with voluntary and involuntary servitude, which goes back to the definitions which I've shown y'all about having involuntary servitude. It's mentioned in the Constitution. U.S. District of Columbia was incorporated in 1871. Federal Reserve Act was passed 1913. Registration of birth certificates 1915. U.S. went broke 1933. Social Security old age retirement was passed 35. Now look at the date. They like right behind each other.
Right.
I mean, there's a gap right over here. Right here, they was busy.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
1871 is also important because isn't that the same year they changed the Constitution? It went from being for the people to of.
For the organic. Well, yo, the Constitution is a contract.
Yeah.
In the law, it tells you it's a contract. The first word is contract. Who is the contract with? It's a contract with the other 50 countries.
Right.
The United States is not a country. It is acting as a country. Originally it said it's acting for defense.
Right.
So keep that in mind. They don't teach that in history, but it's basically, they like, look, man, we got to go against the British, the French, and who else gonna come over here and kick our ass. Because look, here's the real deal. Here's something they don't teach you about American history. I'm going to send you to go over there and build me a house. You get over there, you want to say I ain't paying you enough.
Right.
So now you want to do your own thing. You're a terrorist. Because if I'm King George, you Benjamin Franklin, and George Washington, you got 2 people talking against me is a conspiracy. Okay? So the 4 fathers were the 4 barrels of terrorism in the country. Right? Because they got together and they showed it on HBO with the documentary of, what's my man? John Adams.
John Adams.
It was good. They had a couple brothers up in there too. They had a speaker role, but you know, you see them in the background. You know what I mean? So to let you know they was already walking around. But what they never mentioned was the fact that the Moors recognized them first, before the British did. They showed it as if he went to King Georgie. You know, that's what Shaka Zulu called him, King Georgie. He's a Christos. And like, he said, well, yeah, I recognize y'all as a little country. But that's not true. The truth is, they came on our water, we kicked their ass. Right? What y'all doing here, white boys? Break yourself, man. Break yourself. Let me get that. Run that. Run everything. Matter of fact, send a letter, tell them $1 million. In 16, 17, 1500s ago. Give me $1 million, you want this ship back. Every time. Thus the term blackmail. Right? What was kicking? Blackbeard. All these terms. So they took the Berber, which they used as a language, and started calling us barbarians at the same time. So anybody like the Romans, anybody who wasn't Roman was a barbarian.
Yeah.
So the guys, the George Washingtons and the Benjamin Franklins, they conspired. They got together and conspired to overthrow a country. Nobody teaches that. They overthrew the country, what they call the Revolutionary War. They had several of them.